Florida is preparing for its largest evacuation in 7 years as Hurricane Milton intensifies over the Gulf of Mexico. Milton is currently a Category 5 hurricane and is expected to make landfall on Wednesday. That's less than 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene slammed into Florida's Big Bend area, killing 227 people across 6 states. CBC News science and climate specialist Darius Mahdavi is looking into this for us, and unbelievable that this would be happening in such fast sequence. But Darius, what's the latest on this storm's track?
Right, so this storm is going to pass over the north coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, hopefully not make landfall there. It is in the forecast cone, but it seems unlikely at this point. But they will still feel a number of impacts, from rain to storm surge to very strong winds. And then it's going to continue moving over a much more populated part of Florida than Helene did. Now, keep in mind, Helene did a lot of damage across a very wide area because it moved so quickly inland. But fortunately, it hit a part of Florida that is relatively sparsely populated, and it didn't do as much damage as it could have done to that part of Florida. This time, though, we're looking at a storm that could do tens to hundreds of billions of dollars in damage as it moves over potentially very populated areas in Florida. Now, take a look at the hurricane right now. This is visible satellite imagery. You can see the eye so well defined in the center there, and the storm has gained an incredible amount of strength in a very short time. A Category 5 hurricane a little over 40 hours ago, this wasn't even a named storm. This rapid intensification has just been incredible, with wind speeds close to 280 kilometers per hour. Now, if we zoom out to look at the forecast cone, again, maintaining a lot of that strength, hopefully coming down to a Category 4 or 3 before it makes landfall, but it will still be a major hurricane when it does make landfall in Florida. If you zoom in here, as I mentioned, likely to see that landfall happen in Tampa at this point. But keep in mind, we're still about 48 to 60 hours away from landfall, so there's a decent amount of uncertainty in that track. This could be the difference between, again, a $10 billion storm and a $100 billion storm. There's a lot of uncertainty here, but it does look like this could be an extremely damaging situation. And we're already seeing some of those rains, that precipitation come down. We're seeing that in Florida already. And we're looking at potentially some very, very deadly storm surge in many of these areas. So, Andrew, this is a rapidly developing situation, a rapidly developing hurricane. And I'm sure we'll see many more updates in the hours ahead.
How unusual is this?
Very. This is not unusual to get a hurricane at this time of year, but the strength of this hurricane and the way it's moving is unusual. Again, take a look here. This is just another type of satellite imagery, but it gives you an idea of how strong this storm is, just how well defined the eye is again, and the intensity of those clouds around it. But this is just the past 48 hours. And again, going from an unnamed storm, an unnamed tropical depression, to a Category 5 major hurricane in under 48 hours is just an insane rate of development for this storm. So, Andrew, again, very unusual and potentially damaging storm that we'll be keeping an eye on.
Darius, thank you. That's the CBC's Darius Mahdavi live in Vancouver.